Good evening, listener. Please sit by my fire, get comfortable, relax, and let me ramble through some scary stories I was told were true. The Storm, Part 2, by Emily McDonnell. I backed my way into my apartment. My brain could not wrap itself around what had just occurred. My heart was racing almost as fast as my thoughts. I mean, could that really have just happened? Then suddenly, the power went out. I looked around my apartment in horror. Even though it was morning, the storm made it so no natural light made its way inside. I dashed to my kitchen, flinging open one of the drawers and pulling out a flashlight. I clicked it on and scanned it across my apartment. It looked so normal, my furniture in its regular spaces, my sink still holding the dishes from the night before, my running shoes sitting by my front door. And yet I had an eerie feeling that something was off. The power didn't go out because of the storm. I ran into my bedroom and locked the door. I grabbed my dress and pushed it in front, barricading myself in. I looked out the window, the rain still coming down hard outside. I put my back against the corner of the wall so I could be facing the entire room. 10 minutes passed by, and I started to feel that maybe I was just being silly. I hadn't slept all night. I could have definitely just imagined that thing. And now I'm holed up in my room like a child that had a nightmare. I must be going crazy. As I started to gain my confidence back, I stood up and walked towards my bedroom door. Then, I heard a snarl that brought me to a dead stop. Bang! My wall shook in my room as it rammed itself into my door. I jumped back toward my wall, quickly scanning the room for something, anything I could protect myself with. I locked eyes on my old field hockey stick poking out of my closet. I snatched it and crawled under my bed and turned off the flashlight. All I could do was listen while this thing crashed my door down, the wood splintering with every bang. All of a sudden, the door split. I watched it throw my dresser across the room. It slowly crept in, its grey, blood-stained feet on my carpet. I held my breath as I listened to it. Was it sniffing? My blood turned cold as it came closer to my bed. Its feet came to a stop where I was hiding. It took everything I had in me to stop from sobbing. It put one hand on the ground. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't shut my eyes. Underneath its fingernails were small clumps of flesh and hair that had to have been from my neighbour. I knew then that this was really happening. There was really an it in my house. It really killed my neighbour. It's really about to kill me. Suddenly, a flash of lightning illuminated the room. I heard it shriek in fear and scurry back out of the room. I waited a moment, but decided I needed to act. I guess that's what they mean by fight or flight, and I never really expected myself to be a fighter. I got out from under my bed, flashlight in hand, and went back out to the living room. From where I was standing I could see it destroying my kitchen, leaving scratch marks on every cabinet it touched. It must have heard me enter the room because it spun around and its face contorted into a wicked grin. I froze. Its teeth, horrifyingly sharp. I imagined it lunging at me like it had my neighbour. I thought about my skin being under those disgusting nails. Then, almost like a reflex, I shone my flashlight at the monster. It was almost more scary to see the creature in light. It looked like it was human at some point, or maybe attempting to be. I could really see its eyes now. They had no pupil, just rusty-coloured orbs in the centre of its head. Its nose looked like it had been broken, the tip pointing to the left slightly. But the worst part was its mouth. It had permanent crease lines in its cheeks from the wicked grin it constantly wore. Dried blood painted its lips red. Suddenly, its grin contorted into a cry of pain. Its skin began to turn red and boil. The beam of light seemed to burn it. It made that horrible shriek again and lunged for me, but I kept the light directly on it. It twitched and contorted its body trying to get away from me and my light. I watched as it scurried around the apartment, following it with my light. It couldn't get close to me without being burned. Suddenly it turned and ran. It crashed through my balcony, landing on the street. It bolted back towards the woods, ripping up the ground with its claws as it ran. I watched it till it was out of sight, and slouched down on my living room floor. 2 days later it stopped raining. There hasn't been a disappearance since that day. It's almost like the town has gone back to normal, minus all the cleanup crews. And in case you're wondering, yes, I went to the police and reported what happened. Of course they didn't believe a humanoid creature was eating everyone in town, even though I knew my neighbour was missing before anyone else, and the horrifying appearance of my apartment should have been evidence enough. The surveillance camera outside my apartment building was cut out due to the storm, so that didn't work in my favour either. I had to run out of the police station before they tried to lock me up in a home for crazy people like me. There's a part of me that's relieved this is all over. There's a part of me that wants it to happen again, so I can prove what I saw was true. But the forecast calls for rain again next week. Well, listeners, I sincerely hope you enjoyed the tales that I've brought you this evening. It would be a great pleasure to me if you would like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And please wait for me to bring you more tales to alter your perception of how the world may really be. This is Ramblingramm, signing off. Good night, listeners, and sweet dreams.